Hi, Covenant family. I wanted to spend a few minutes just kind of checking in a little bit about where I understand us to be right now, May 8th, in the midst of shelter in place and COVID-19. For me, we have an opportunity here to what I would call moving to a balcony view. I don't know if this is something that you've already experienced in your own home and life or other work situations, but certainly for our church and our church leadership, we've been moving to what Ronald Heffens calls a balcony view, a time where we kind of get in a raised position to look down. We're not having quite as many things to do in a day-to-day, and there's not quite as much that's so urgent, whether because it's not or because we can't do some of those things. And instead, it's an opportunity to reflect big picture and have a full perspective view of where we are as a church. We especially in this church have an opportunity to do that because of the great response rate you all gave to our recent survey, and we're so thankful for that. And many from our church council are working together to interpret that data and understand what God is revealing to us from those comments and those answers. And so far, I'll tell you what I've heard is that we are a church that is in need of some direction. I am so thankful to have been your pastor for almost a year now, and I hopefully feel like we've gotten to know each other and there's been some trust that is formed, and that it feels to me that we may be ready and ripe to make some intentional decisions about who we are as a church. What does it mean when you say you're part of Covenant United Methodist Church? And what is our direction? What are our top couple priorities that we're going to really emphasize and work toward in the coming months and maybe even year plus time? And so we're working on that. And for me, that's really exciting. I hope you've been doing some work in dreaming like we talked about recently. And I'm just hopeful that we can take this opportunity to go to the balcony and consider from a big perspective who we are as Covenant United Methodist Church. I also want to acknowledge some of the challenges we face. I'll tell you, the survey showed some strongly different opinions about things, and my email box would show you some strongly different opinions about things. One of them is just, should we be having in-person services right now? 5 of our very top leaders in the life of this church have asked me and really called on me to restart our church services, and I have not chosen to do that yet. You've seen probably my statement that we would be closed through May at the earliest. And so I just want to be honest with you that I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's right and wrong. I'm trying my very best to seek advice from those who I would consider experts and try to understand data the best I can. But I'm certainly no medical expert or public health expert. I can tell you my priority is that we do no harm. And the worst thing that I can imagine is us coming back together for in-person services because we want it so much and we love each other so much and miss it, that we do harm to one another or to our surrounding community because of that decision. And so that might feel to you disappointing or like slow, or one of the words I've heard is a lack of leadership. For me, I hope you'll understand that I don't see it that way. I see it as doing our best to try to make the decisions I can to be as faithful as I can for this community. And this is just one of the things that, unfortunately or fortunately, you have to leave to me. The pastor decides when we'll have worship in the United Methodist Church. And for right now, my decision has been that we will continue to worship together virtually through these online recordings. And so if you're disappointed by that, I hope you know I'm somebody who always wants to hear from you. I'm thankful for your calls and emails and talking this out, and I learn from you. And sometimes I change my mind because of what I hear from you. But that is where we are for right now, and you can expect not to have in-person services through the month of May. I think you should also know that our trustees have been trying to weigh in on this and work through this together about what they think we should do and what the right both timeline for reentry is, and also the practices and procedures in place. You could probably imagine for the trustees that's a big work, so please pray for them as they work on that effort. It's hard, it's a new thing to think about how we would do this safely. So they're working hard on having some of those things in place so that we can be ready as soon as we think it's safe. But I don't have a date for you yet, Covenant Church, and I'm sorry for that, and I know we long for that. but I know that we are also doing everything we can to care for one another, and I know that God is still at work in and through this. I'm so thankful. I think we've gotten a lot better about how we do these recordings, and I'm hopeful that it's going to spur us on to, even when we do get back, to have even better, more effective services, and services that are recorded in new ways and broadcast in new ways as we go forward for people that aren't able to be with us on a given Sunday. So I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for your prayers. I acknowledge that this is one place where we've got some disagreement. I know there are many in the life of the church, but I'm so thankful that what unites this church is our faith in Jesus Christ, our love for one another, our commitment to God's mission in our lives. And so I'm so confident that we can go through this, and even if we're disappointed with Pastor John or somebody else's decision, we can do it in love and know that we're all just doing our best, and that God will bless our ministries, God will bless our efforts, and God cares for our hearts in this time. So thank you, and thank you so much for the ways in which you are responding to God's call in your life.